Hey guys, my name is Matimo, and today I have some more Battlefield 3 gameplay for you guys. It's going to be some sniper highlights from last night's play session. I know you guys really enjoy the sniper gameplay, so I figured why not. And last week I asked you guys for some help on trying to figure out a title for this series, and I think I'm just going to go with Sunday Mailbox. I know that's really lame and kind of boring, but it's exactly what this series is. I post it every Sunday, or at least this type of video, and it's a mailbox. You guys submit the questions for me, and then I answer them. So I'm just going to go with Sunday Mailbox. I hope you guys like it. So the first question comes in from Zach, and he asks, what do you think of low-level players using valuable vehicles? For example, in maps such as Wake Island, where the US gets the attack helicopter, and a level 2 gets in and wastes that resource for the attackers. And it doesn't have to necessarily be a level 2, it could be someone who just hasn't flown before. I fly helicopters as much as I can, but when a player that doesn't know how to fly is hogging it the whole game, it frustrates me, and it could be credited for the US losing that round. What do you think on this topic? So this is a hard question to answer because there's two sides to the story. You have the newer players who have just bought in the game and they want to jump into a helicopter and kill people. Like, that's really what I wanted to do when I first started playing Battlefield 3. I wanted to get into the jets, I wanted to get into helicopters, I wanted to start learning how they all worked and progress. But then you have, on the other side, you have players such as veterans or really just anyone in general who's been playing for a while. They are frustrated when newer players get into these really valuable resources, because they really are resources. They help you win the match, and having someone that doesn't know how to play in one of them could actually lose you the match. And Wake Island is a great example of this. So yeah, I can see where you're coming from when you're playing on Wake Island and someone does take the attack helicopter. It is very frustrating when they do hog it. But as long as they're not hogging it, I don't really have a problem with it, because I remember when I first started playing, I wanted to get in the helicopter, and I was pretty bad. I had to learn the ropes, I had to learn how everything was set up, and it was really frustrating for me to even learn because everyone was kind of complaining that I sucked, and I did suck. But now I'm finally comfortable with the system, and I'm one of the better pilots out there. At least I feel like I am. So yeah, it does suck when newer players are playing with the vehicles and they get them destroyed. But you have to remember that everyone is new at some point, and the only way that they're going to get better is to use those vehicles and get better at them. So all in all, yeah, I see where you're coming from. As long as the newer players aren't hogging the vehicles and they're waiting their turn, I don't have a problem with it. Yeah, if they're hogging it, it can be very frustrating, and I think those players need to kind of reassess the situation and realize that they are not the only one on the battlefield, because it really is frustrating when this happens. And this is one of the things that I think the Battlefield series really suffers from, is because there's no way for DICE right now, at least there's no system right now that will manage and make it so that it's fair for people to get in vehicles equally, if you guys know what I mean. Because there's players that will be in the helicopter the entire game, and if you do want to get in the helicopter, it's frustrating to even attempt it, because they're either in the sky the entire time, or when they get destroyed, they'll just run back and try to beat you to it to jump back in. And that gets kind of old fast when that does happen. I'm not really sure how DICE would be able to fix that. I don't even think it can be fixed. It's just part of the Battlefield series. It's always been like this, so you know, it just kind of sucks. So yeah, great question. Like I said, it is a hard one to answer because there is two sides of the stories. Newer players they pay their $60, they want to play in vehicles, but you also have people that just want to win the match, and to have those vehicles be used by someone who really doesn't know what they're doing and then lose the match because of that is frustrating. So the next question comes in from Outlooker707, and he asks, what do you guys think about adding flashbangs? It would make it easier to get into rooms where everyone is camping a corner. I personally would really like to see some sort of version of a flashbang added into Battlefield 3. I think it would add a lot of dynamics and tactics to the game that isn't already available. There are a lot of maps, such as the last base on Sharkey Peninsula, where it can be very difficult for the attacking team on Rush to take the TV station and get that last MCOM, because it's basically just a camp fest up there, and having a flashbang would really benefit and provide another tactic to get rid of those pesky campers, or really just to take out players in general. I mean, if I can switch out the grenade for the flashbang in normal combat, I would do it in a heartbeat. I really like the grenade, but in most situations, if I throw a grenade, I'm not going to get the kill. The players are going to see the grenade coming, and they're going to get out of the way, and it's not really going to, it may soften them up a little bit, but I'm usually not going to get the kill. If I exchanged that for a flashbang instead and got them dazed, or however the mechanic was implemented, and then rush in and take out, 2 or 3 people, that would be awesome, because I'm a much more aggressive player, and to have something that would allow me to play more aggressively would be great. And I can see that being used in a lot of situations compared to the grenade, or really just even if it's not exchanged for the grenade and you still have the grenade, but to have some sort of flash bang in the game, I think would just be a great way to change the dynamic of a fight and a different situation. I can see why players wouldn't want to have flashbangs in the game, though I know there already is a lot of disorienting effects in Battlefield 3, such as you already have the suppression effect, which I know a lot of players just do not like at all, and they are buffing the specialization in the next patch that already reduces the suppression effect, so hopefully that won't be as big of a deal for those players, but I can see where they're coming from. Having your screen disoriented constantly can be very frustrating. I personally like the suppression effect. I think it adds a nice dynamic to the game, but I can see where people would just get really frustrated to have one more thing that just blurs their screen and makes them feel like they can't control their character or their soldier, and so I can see that viewpoint. But I still stand by my statement before that having flashbangs or some sort of grenade that disorients the person's screen would be a nice addition to the game. I think it would add another dynamic, another layer that would, I think most players would appreciate. But I want to know what you guys think on these two topics. Please let me know in the comment section below. And if you would like to submit your question to me, you can send me a YouTube message with the title Q&A, and then you just, leave your message, and it could be featured in an upcoming episode. So if you guys could do me a favor and give this video a thumbs up, and also subscribe to my channel for more videos if you haven't already. But until next time, guys, have a good one, and take it easy.